I am here to share my potato tower planting tips. So potato towers are a quick and affordable way that you can plant potatoes above ground. If you don't have a lot of space or a raised bed, this is an easy way to do it. That works by taking a tomato cage and sinking it into the ground. And then you're going to want to wrap the cage. I use chicken wire, but you can use cattle panel, hog fencing. You can even use coffee bags if you have any access to local roasters. But what that looks like, moving on to this demo, is I've wrapped it with chicken wire. If you use wire, a nice little thing you can do is leave about 2 inches extra wire along the bottom of the cage as you're wrapping it. And then once you've wrapped the outside, go ahead and shove that extra wire back down underneath that first bar of the tomato cage and pull it up through the center. And what that does is it makes it a little bit more rodent proof so that things can't crawl underneath there. Once you've wrapped your wire around your cage, what I like to do is I take straw. Straw bales are pretty much available all season round at the local feed store. Johnson's Feed in Louisville carries them all the time. If you don't have access to straw, you can even use the grass clippings from your lawn. So what you'll do is whatever medium you use, and even woodworkers, they'll use sawdust. You'll want to put it on the bottom of the cage, and you're basically just creating a little bed, a little bowl for your potatoes to grow in. So if you'll take a look at that, you can see that we're creating this little space for the potatoes to get nestled in. And I have an example of one here that's ready to get planted. So now that we have our straw base, I've gone ahead and filled it with some good quality compost. This compost actually was created by my hens in the chicken coop all winter long. I use a deep litter method in the coop, and so they're making compost for me all winter so that I have it in the spring. We're going to plant our potatoes into the soil before covering them back on top with more soil and straw and continuing to build that lasagna layer of the tower. Now for potatoes, there's a few options for how to source seed potatoes in Texas. You can watch out for when the stores carry them. They do start to carry them around this time of year, but it goes quick, so if you see them, go ahead and grab them. Or you can make your own. Now, if you're making your own, what you'll want to do is you'll want to pick up organic potatoes that have not been sprayed with any sprout inhibitor or treated in any way. So typically, organic is the safest way to get that. And you're going to allow these potatoes to sprout by giving them access to sun. Once they've started to sprout, you'll want to chit them. Chitting is when you slice a potato such that the eyes, you have at least, and these are the eyes right here, that you have at least 1 eye per inch of potato. So I've done that as an example here. You can see that this potato had 2 eyes on either side. To increase my production, I went ahead and sliced it in half. You do want to use a non-serrated knife when you're doing this because you want a clean, flat surface so that when it dries or cures, there's not any nooks and crannies for little critters to get into. The potato can start to go bad in the ground if that happens. So once these have dried for 24 to 48 hours, you'll be able to tell because the skin will form sort of a thick calloused area on it. You'll plant them in your tower sprout side up. So because these haven't cured, I'm going to let them hang out, but this guy is fine to go in, just as he is. So sprout side up. You can mix the types of potatoes you plant all in one tower, it won't matter. You just want to make sure you're giving them enough space. So for my purpose here, that looks like about 4. As this potato grows, the sprout is going to come up through the soil, and then off nodes on that main sprout, new additional potatoes will grow. I'm going to cover these guys up. I'll add more straw on top. Continuing to build out the little bowl or nest for where you'll sit the new potatoes in. And then just keep planting. Just like that. I'm going to get the rest of this tower planted, and then we will check back in on the growth progress in a couple of weeks. I hope it helps.